The film's story revolves around a guy named Aron. One day, Aron goes on a hiking trip to a completely deserted place with absolutely no one around for miles. While Aron is hiking, he runs into two girls. They've completely lost their way. Aron, being helpful, immediately asks them, "Can I help you two with something?" He walks right over to them and shows them the correct path. Then, he decides to join them on their journey, guiding them along. After they've traveled quite a distance, Aron tells them, "I know another way, and I guarantee you'll absolutely love this trip." They start moving forward, past the mountains, on very narrow paths. Aron suddenly jumps down from one spot after they all get past it. The girls get scared, thinking he's fallen, but Aron immediately calls up to them from below. Turns out, there was a pool of water down there. Aron tells them to jump in too. One by one, the girls jump into the water, and they have an absolute blast. They're so happy there. Afterward, the three continue their journey. Once they come out of that spot, Aron has to keep hiking, and the two girls need to go home. So, before they say goodbye, they take a selfie. Aron asks them, "Will we get a chance to meet again?" One of the girls tells him, "We have a party tomorrow night. You can come too." Later, Aron says goodbye and leaves. Aron is now moving through the mountainous area. He's super excited and really enjoying this hike. But the paths in these areas are very narrow and dangerous. As Aron climbs down between two narrow mountains, he encounters a large rock. Just as Aron is leaning on this rock, it suddenly slips. Poor Aron starts to fall, and the very rock he was leaning on rolls down and lands right on his right hand. Now, Aron's hand is trapped under a rock between two narrow mountains. He wasn't badly hurt, but his hand was stuck. He tries with all his might to free his hand, but it's no use. When Aron realizes his hand can't be freed, he starts shouting loudly for the two girls to help him. Unfortunately, his voice can't reach them. This is a narrow mountain area, and for his voice to echo and reach anyone, where there's not even a person, animal, or even a bird for miles, was unbelievable. Next, Aron opens his bag and takes out all his hiking gear. He has to get out of here at any cost because he knows no one will come here for months. Among the tools he takes out of his bag is a knife. He tries to break the rock from one side with the knife, but the rock is incredibly solid. It's so tough that it doesn't even make a dent. Plus, his right hand is trapped, so he's having trouble working with his left hand. Despite all this, Aron doesn't give up. He keeps trying to break the rock. In the middle of all this, his knife slips from his hand and falls down. Now he can't grab the knife with his hand because it's a little distance away, but somehow he cleverly pulls the knife towards him. He starts cutting the rock again, but it's no use. The rock is so solid that the knife's edge is completely blunted. Soon, night falls. Many hours have passed since Aron got stuck here. He has no idea how to get out. So, he continues to struggle to free his hand. As he keeps trying, the next morning arrives. Now, 25 hours have passed since Aron got trapped here. He can't find any way to free himself from this place. Then, he turns on his camera and starts recording. In it, he records, "I've been stuck here for the past 25 hours, and no one knows I'm here, because I hadn't told anyone I was coming here. On top of that, I was running out of food, and I only had about 400 to 500 milliliters of water left to drink." As he was recording, he heard a voice from above. As a result, Aron started screaming loudly for help, but his shouts were in vain because there was no one there. After a few hours, night fell again. Aron started to feel hungry, so he began to eat the remaining food he had. Then, a thought crossed his mind. "Those girls invited me to dinner tonight. There must be wine." Aron began to imagine the party. He also started talking to himself, remembering the day he left his house for a hike on Saturday. His mother had called him, but he didn't answer and didn't tell her he was going on a hike. If Aron had informed her, she might have come looking for him. Now, no one knew where Aron was. On the third day, Monday, Aron began to fashion a small wheel out of wires. He tried to tie a rock with ropes, but the rock fell into his hand. He then attempted to lift the rock using the opposite end of the rope, but despite his best efforts, the rock wouldn't budge. Later, he tried to move the rock by looping that end of the rope around his feet, but this attempt also proved useless for now. The trouble was mounting as 3 days had passed. His drinking water was now completely gone. He had nothing to do but watch the small things around him, like a bird flying in the sky. He couldn't move from his spot, and some dangerous insects kept appearing. If he wanted to kill and eat those insects, he would have to wait for them to come. Aron only got about 15 minutes of sunlight in this mountainous region, as the sun's rays soon moved away. Now, Aron was tormented by hunger and thirst in this environment. So, he decided to cut his own hand. He tied his arm tightly and tried to cut his hand with the knife he had, but the knife was dull, so it couldn't even cut the thin layer of his skin. Frustrated by this, Aron recorded a message on his camera: "Never buy cheap equipment. They are useless." Another day passed like this. As night fell, Aron started remembering his old days. He remembered his family, close friends, and many other friends. As he thought of them, the sky became covered with clouds. Heavy rain began to fall. Since Aron had run out of water, he started filling his water bottle with rainwater. Water also began to flow between the narrow mountainous areas where Aron was trapped. The water level was rising, and Aron began to drown in it. Since liquid water is denser, things float on it. So Aron also tried to lift that rock, moving forward in the water. After a lot of effort, he managed to lift the rock. His hand was immediately freed from under the rock. Then Aron got out of that place and ran towards his car. He got into his car and drove away. But it was only a dream. It wasn't real. He was still trapped in the mountainous area. Now, he started screaming loudly once again. He began to hallucinate, as many days had passed since he was trapped. 4 days had passed since Aron got stuck here. Now it was his 5th day. His behavior and mindset had changed drastically. He was talking to himself, commentating, laughing, and even saying, "If my mother's call had come that day, or if I had told her I was coming here, maybe I wouldn't have been stuck here. And the shop where I bought my hiking supplies, I didn't tell him anything either. If he finds out about this, he might file a missing persons report. Because of that, someone might come looking for him here." Aron spoke to his parents here. "I have so much love for you." Indeed, Aron was recording all of this because all his hopes of getting free from this place had vanished. He was thirsty, hungry, and his body had no strength left. This heavy, unmoving rock had trapped Aron here. Aron once again tied his hand, and with the knife, whose sharpness was completely gone, he didn't try to hack his hand to pieces. Instead, he started hitting his hand with the front part of the knife. He stabbed the knife so deeply into his hand that it got stuck in his hand bone. Blood began to flow from his hand because of this, but Aron didn't take any further steps. Another day passed like this. By the 6th day, Aron's condition had worsened even more. He was weak. If he didn't get free from here, he would die. Aron thought the same. "This rock has been waiting for me my whole life. This mountain path has been waiting for me since the day I was born. Perhaps this is my destiny." He wrote, "Rest in peace," on the rock. He also wrote his name and date of birth because he was completely sure he wouldn't leave here alive. All his courage was gone. He was also very tired. The next day, when a little bit of his consciousness returned, he started to imagine things. That's when he saw a small child, who was Aron's future son. He imagined playing with his son, and this made him emotional. A new strength was born within him. So, he started pushing his trapped hand in the opposite direction. As he did this, the bone in his hand broke. And the knife he had also sharpened it. He slowly started cutting his hand. In this way, he cut his hand from his body. On the 6th day, after cutting his hand, he freed himself from this rock. Before leaving, he even took a photo of his hand. That hand was still stuck in the rock. Now, Aron exited this mountainous region with great difficulty. As he came out of that place, he saw that there was still rainwater accumulated there. Aron then went and started drinking a lot of water because he hadn't eaten or drunk anything for the past 6 days. So today, he quenched his thirst. After this, he moved forward. He also saw the bird flying in the sky that he used to observe daily from the T-Mountain region. And he also considered himself free, just like that bird. But getting out of that area was still not easy because the place was very vast and barren. But Aron still didn't give up. He began to move forward despite the terrible pain. Just then, he saw a family who had come there for a hike. Aron called out to them, and they ran to him. They called the security personnel to help Aron, and then a helicopter landed there. Aron was then brought to the hospital by helicopter. Sometime later, the scene was shown where Aron had completely recovered, and Aron's imagined images of his child also came true. Because Aron met a girl 3 years later, and they both got married. After this, Aron's child came to life, looking just like the child Aron had imagined. Now, Aron has looked death in the eyes during those 6 days. Despite this, Aron doesn't lose his enthusiasm. He still climbs mountains and goes on hikes. Wherever he goes, he should write the story of the places he has visited. Let's reveal the shocking truth here. This story is based on real-life history. This means it is true that Aron was trapped in those mountain paths for 6 days. He spent very little time there. He had also written his birth and death dates on the rocks of that place, because he was sure that he would never return alive from there. and the rock under which Aron's hand was pressed weighed 360 kilograms. There was a shortage of food and water there, but his good quality was that he did not give up. This was the only reason he survived for 5 days. On the 6th day, when he was sure he wouldn't survive, an otherworldly power helped him, giving him a vision of his future son. This gave him courage, and he finally managed to get out of that place. Aron also stated that if he had cut his hand earlier, he would have lost a lot of blood and probably wouldn't have been able to free himself from there. If he hadn't cut his hand at that moment, he might have died right there. When he separated his hand, his body was weak, so he didn't lose much blood. That's why he wandered there for 4 hours, even after his hand was cut off. As a result, Aron demonstrates his strength by refusing to accept defeat. After this, the film ends here, showing this scene. Thank you for watching.